You guys about a scientist, and today we're going to be discussing Tekashi 69 again. I know that a lot of people don't like that, but you know, he's in the news, so it is what it is. And there are some sort of interesting things going on. Now, I called this video, the West Coast, East Coast beef, with a question mark, because it kind of looks like that, and it kind of doesn't look like that at all. Tekashi is going to LA. He already is in LA, and apparently he's doing that just to tour. He's doing a tour, or I guess over all the states, and he's also going next to LA. The only thing in LA is that there are a couple of guys who don't fuck with Tekashi at all. I'm pretty sure in most cities there are, but these guys are all a bunch of gang members, most of them, and you know they feel like they control the city. In a lot of ways, of course, they do. You know what I mean? Like those people still have, Crips and Bloods still have like power in LA. You know what I mean? Like that's still a thing. Of course, it's not the same as as it used to be in the 80s and the 90s, but you know it's LA, and Crips and Bloods will always be there. It almost seems like. First, there was this one guy called Spanky Loco. Or at least that's his Instagram name. He's now, as far as I know, he's out there looking in the mall everywhere for Tekashi 69. Trippy Red has beef with Tekashi 69 again, or still, about a whole bunch of new shit, but I guess that has nothing to do with LA as far as we know, but that could still become a thing. And then there's a couple of San Antonio goons. And they also seem with the shits. I mean, you know, they're carrying guns, doing all the rah-rah stuff. They're saying this isn't even rap shit. We are rappers, but we're not trying to promote this. This is street shit. We're doing this for the streets, and we don't fuck with child molesters. And I agree. If you're a child molester and people come up to you saying you can't come to our city, they have a point. You know what I mean? Like, what do you want to say? Like, if you're out here, like, you know, getting turned on by kids, people don't want you around them. That's very normal. At the same time, though, Tekashi 69 is a very young dude. And what really happened that night, well, I don't know what really happened that day or night. I guess it was in the day. But, he was with a 13-year-old girl. He was 18. He lied about that, said she was 14 and he was 17. He lied to academics, not the cops as far as I know. But, we found out she was 13 and he was 17. It's a 2-year difference. It does make a difference. As far as I know, he never banged that chick ever. And at least that's what he's claiming. The police say they have no evidence to think that he did. It's mostly just inappropriate behavior, like, you know, touching her ass or touching her titties and shit like that. And he said he didn't know what her age was, right? She's 13. He's 18. That's not cool. You know what I mean? If you're 13, somebody else is 18. I would say there's too much of an age difference, definitely. But 18 is still really young. And he said he didn't know how old this chick was. I can believe that. You know what I mean? I once made out with like a 15-year-old girl when I was 18 or something, back in the days, you know what I mean? And I was sorry about it, but you know, what can I do? Because I thought she was older than me. She told me she was older, right? So I understand that kind of shit can happen. But at the same time, what is also a thing is that, you know, people always act like, first he said he was 17, then people were sort of cool with it, and then he turned out to be 18. I guess people also are not cool with it because he lied about it, but I guess 17 is not that much different from 18. People always pretend like 18 is so much different because then you're, you know, officially an adult. But like when you're 17 and when you're 18, you're the exact same person. You know what I mean? And okay, he said he learned from it. So me personally, you know, I wouldn't try to kill him or whatever. But I'm not that type of dude. You know what I mean? And these guys are. So they are after him. I saw Spanky Loco running around in the mall looking for him. That's kind of funny. But I mean, you know, like if I were Tekashi, I'd be stressing. You know what I mean? Because these guys are all like for real LA gang members. LA is not a place for the faint of heart in some areas. You know what I mean? Probably the areas where all these guys are from. San Antonio is also an area where a lot of gang activity is going on. Tekashi seems like he's not stressing it at all. He has a lot of goons with him that, as far as I know, are with the shits. As far as I know, people are saying that he's on they're on his payroll or anything. I don't know. It seems like, I mean, he's from Brooklyn. They're from Brooklyn, and they're all Bloods, and he says he's Bloods. So it seems like that's not the case, but let's say it is. Doesn't really matter because these guys are with the shits, and as long as they're down to protect him, he's cool. You know what I mean? As long as if he has the confidence to think that he can keep paying these guys and keep making them happy and blah 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 blah, until he's, you know, a fucking gazillionaire or something. I guess that's a strategy, you know what I mean? But these guys, as far as I know, there have been 2 incidents or something where one of the instances, dudes didn't want to pay him, or yeah, they didn't want to pay him because he didn't perform, but he only went in there for like a showing off my face, and then I'll go for 20,000 or something. And so they didn't want to pay him the money because he didn't perform, but that wasn't the deal. So they just started shooting. You know what I mean? Some other guy threw a bottle, and these guys beat the shit out of him, as far as I know. So these guys aren't pussies. You know what I mean? Those LA guys aren't pussies as well. That's the only reason why I'm saying East Coast, West Coast beef, sort of. And the real reason is because everybody on the internet is saying it. I see people everywhere saying like, "Yo, it's happening again." You know what I mean? It's happening probably for the so many time. But everybody knows the most famous time, of course, Pac and Big, and rest in peace. You know, and that's of course not what we want. But I don't want people to tell me that I'm the one. You know what I mean? Oh, you guys, you're calling it East Coast, West Coast beef. Dude, everybody's calling it that. You know what I mean? And is it the East Coast, West Coast beef? It's sort of hard because Tekashi is one East Coast dude, and there's a whole bunch of West Coast dudes, and it's all about the pedophile shit. So I guess why is it the beef? It's just about this one guy, right? That's true. But what I also am seeing, and just keeping it real, is a lot of guys in New York sort of not really defending 6ix9ine, but sort of going against the LA guys. You know what I mean? A lot of dudes are like, oh, is Loco, is Spanky Loco gonna come to Brooklyn? I don't think so. You know what I mean? And that, you know, that sort of shows that New Yorkers, that's the type of people they are. You know what I mean? Like that whole idea of like New Yorkers feel like they're better than everybody else and blah 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 blah. That's not really like. Of course, that's the same. But there's like I always feel like there's some truth to that in like, the way like shit like New York rappers move. They all have some sort of like a way they move. You know what I mean? You could say that whole bravado things for a lot of ways also comes from New York, but it began in New York, so that's obvious. That's not even really a point. But I'm going off on a tangent. What do you guys think? Do you guys think it's a West and East Coast war? I don't think so. Right? Not at all. Not at this point. I mean, it's kind of a stupid question, but I feel like it could go there. It could easily go there. You know what I mean? It's already getting crazy. That's what I know for a fact. Shit is going down in the next few days in LA. That's what I know. East Coast, West Coast beef? Not yet. That's what I'm saying. What are you guys saying? And what do you guys think about Tekashi 6ix9ine, San Antonio Goons, and Spanky Loco, and Trippie Redd? What do you think about Trippie Redd? I love his music. Check it out. Like, comment, subscribe. Check it out.